Hello everyone, welcome back to AAS Publishing, and we're going to continue our series on publishing in the AAS journals as an author. And as a reminder, the AAS journals are the Astronomical Journal, AJ, the Astrophysical Journal, APJ, APJ, APJ Letters, APJ Supplement, Research Notes of the AAS, and the Bulletin of the AAS. So last time we covered titles, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I want to carry on today with the various components of a paper and various policies of the AAS journals. So author names is simple in principle, highly nuanced in practice. Usually, the first author has done the majority of the research and the writing, and the second author has helped significantly with the entire project, and then the remaining authors played a key role in one or two aspects. However, there are plenty of counterexamples. A common one is for the senior author to go last in the series of papers, and there are other examples. So, simple in principle, nuanced in practice. Policy. We do have a policy that you are obligated as the corresponding author of the paper to ensure that all your co-authors agree to the content of the original submission and any subsequent revisions. Okay, so everybody has to be on board with the content of the paper and its revisions. And I smile a little bit because I certainly have gotten cases where a paper has been submitted and a few days later I will get an email from some component, some grouping of the authors telling me that they disagree with sections 3, 4, and 5, which were written by the other co-authors, and they're not really sure about it. And then an hour or two later, I'll get another email from another subgrouping of the authors saying they don't really agree with what's in sections 1 or 2 that are written by these other authors, and tweet, timeout. Those I just throw back. I send a message back to the authors, and when you all agree on what the content of this paper is, then we will consider it for peer review. But I'm not going to send something out for peer review when the authors are squabbling amongst themselves. And we don't want any surprises, right? Nobody should be surprised that they're an author or surprised what the content is, and this does happen on occasion. So it's a policy. Make sure everybody knows what's going on with the paper at all stages and that they agree with the content. Okay. Abstract. Nobody reads a paper without first reading the abstract, and often only the abstract. And so this is arguably the most important part of the paper. A good abstract invites the reader to read the whole manuscript. It's kind of like a movie trailer in this regard, right? You go into a movie and you see a trailer and you sort of decide right there and there whether this is a movie you might be interested in seeing or not. And so an abstract is, in that respect, is very much like a movie trailer. A typical abstract, a usual abstract, will have a sentence on the aim, a few sentences on quantitative results. Always a good thing to put quantitative results in your abstract. Identify it as science. And a sentence on the meaning and the results. I did something, I did some observations, I did a calculation. What does it mean within the big picture? This movie trailer, this abstract, is often the most challenging part to write, and it's usually done last after you've done the paper and you're trying to see the forest through the trees. We do have a policy on abstracts. The abstract has to be a single paragraph and it has to be less than 250 words. You may wonder where this comes from, and so I invite you to take a look at the literature of 20, 25 years ago, somewhere in that range. And you will see abstracts that, 1,000 words, 2,000 words, multiple paragraphs. It's like, this is not a trailer. This is not an abstract. This is a mini paper within a paper. So that's what generated the motion toward single paragraph, 250 words. If your abstract is over 250 words, you will get a very friendly reminder from the AAS Journal's managing staff. And if that doesn't do it, then you get a even more welcome from the scientific editor. So keep it at 250 words upon submission. You'll save yourself some effort. The intro, the introduction, it says what you're writing about, why the topic is relevant, who cares. It provides background with references and says why your approach offers significant new results. I highly encourage putting in somewhere in your introduction, explicitly state why your article has significant new results. Remember, that was the primary metric for publication. Significant new results. So if you don't say what your significant new results are explicitly, you're inviting the reader or the scientific editor or the referee to try to infer what the significant new results are. So yeah, be explicit about what that is. Good introductions are not necessarily long. 1 or 2 pages usually suffices. Includes information about the topic, references, giving the reader some background. You know, occasionally they'll go 3 pages, fine. I don't think we want 8-page introductions. That's kind of looking a little bit like a review article. On the other hand, you don't want a 2-paragraph introduction either. That's usually a little too light to get the reader engaged. So a couple of pages is fairly typical. You want to avoid self-plagiarism. Oops, can't say that. Text overlap. So yeah, plagiarism technically is a legal crime. So if you accuse somebody of plagiarism, even self-plagiarism, it's a legal term. So we tend to use text overlap. And so what we're looking for is cut and paste out of your articles. Can't do that. You can paraphrase the idea, you can reword the idea, but you can't just cut and paste from a previous paper of yours and put it in. If you happen to do that with somebody else's work, that's a more serious endeavor. That will get you an ethics violation of copying and pasting somebody else's work and putting it into your own without attribution. So we do have a policy. It's down there at the bottom of the slide, journals.aas.org, policy ethics.html. I invite you to read it and see what some of the ethics policies are, particularly with regard to text overlap. That's what I wanted to say today, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.